Hello, and welcome to
Hello.
another episode of Philosophical Bones. This
Thank
week
you for having
we're
me.
doing question 12. But first, I want to say I'm Nick, and my guest this week is my friend Megan.
Hi.
And this week, the question is how do we sell our soul on a daily basis?
Yes. Because we all think that we don't, but we do, like in our jobs or, you know,
And I want to, before you see it started, I want to preface by saying, we kind of do believe in the soul,
I do.
but
Yeah.
that's for another
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah.
But we just want to put that out there. It's like, even if you don't believe in a soul, this is more of kind of
Yeah.
it's a term to kind of use to be like
Yeah.
yourself.
In what way do you challenge your ethics or compromise your ethics for money
Yeah.
or to not start a fight with someone or, to not cause a scene? Like, in what way do we sell our souls?
Yeah. So how do we sell our soul on a daily basis? How do you sell your soul on a daily basis?
Um, I find that there are some situations where I feel like I should be more confrontational. Like, say I'm like waiting in line at a coffee shop or something, and I overhear someone saying something, racist about like one of the baristas or something, or sexist or anything. I feel like I should speak up and be like, "Hey, that's really not accurate," or you don't need to say that. That's not necessary.
Mm.
But I don't. I'm just like,
It's like something in private. You'd
like,
be like, no, if I was in that situation, I would do it. And then when you're actually in that situation, you're like,
yeah, or if it was like a friend of mine, I would totally call them out and be like, "What? What makes you think that? Like, that's not okay." But if it's a stranger, I don't know. I'm I think it's irrational to think that somebody's going to like turn around and stab you over it or something.
yeah.
Like, they might argue back and then I just be like, "Okay, sorry."
So how else do you like kind of sell your soul on a daily basis?
Well, I've actually thought about this question before. And like many years ago, I used to work at Baskin Robbins,
Mm.
and we would have customers come in who were like, they clearly had health problems from obesity, and they would order like a large milkshake.
Mm.
And I would just be like, I don't want to sell this to you because I know that it's not good for you. And like, I don't want to hurt you. And I know that's a personal decision. That's another thing. Like, there's an element of personal choice and like,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
At
maybe.
the same time, you kind of have to just respect what people are doing with their lives, no
Yeah.
matter if you disagree with it or not.
Yeah. The thing that made me think of it as I was studying Buddhism at the time, and like one of the ideas that I had learned was that, to do as little harm as possible, like
Mhm.
even if that means, like not selling guns to people or something, like that sort of idea.
Well, if you're working at a gun shop selling guns to people, you don't agree with it. You're kind of in the wrong business.
Yeah, right. And like that was something that the course, it was an online course that I was taking, that it brought up. It was like, you may have to, like leave your job or disassociate from your family or
Mhm.
things like that. And it's like really tough stuff. Like, that is a way we sell our souls. Like, my dad is a Republican, and
Yeah.
I think he might be a Trump supporter, so we just don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Like, but I would say there's
I'd
so
say
many
more.
things I want to
Well,
speak out.
one thing I'd say right now is in a way like the way we like just normal everyday people like yourself or me, the way we sell your soul every day is just by compromising our own beliefs
Yeah.
in order to like get a paycheck or just be nice with someone, be personable, not be a dick.
Yeah. Oh, I just thought of something. I'm a vegetarian,
Mm-hmm.
and I've worked in many places where we sell meat.
Yeah.
And I have to like upsell a meat product, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to. I usually like if people ask me about the menu at work, I'll be like, "Well, this is really good, but I'm a vegetarian, and that's basically the only thing I can eat on the menu."
Mm-hmm.
Just FYI.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know if that's harmful to the business. I don't think it is, because then they just ask the server, and she recommends something nice,
Yeah. I
But-
think, well, definitely, I'd say the biggest way we do is, well, besides beliefs, is definitely work for a lot of people out there.
Yeah.
Because we're always like, well, why am I working this really shitty job that I absolutely hate, and I'm kind of selling off pieces of my soul? Like,
Yeah.
I could be doing something so much better that I enjoy so much more, and
Yeah.
I don't do it
And we don't
because we need a paycheck. We need to live.
And then we get complacent. It's like, well, I have a job, so I might not be applying for all these dream jobs I want.
Mhm.
Maybe I'm not qualified yet, but then we're like, oh no, I'm not qualified. No, I can't do that. And like, so it's like, you you kind of kill a little part of your soul, I think, when you do that,
Mm-hmm.
because you're complacent.
So how else? I'm trying to keep it going.
I
You know.
Did you have any ideas?
I'd say like really. How do I go with this? Sorry for the listeners out there. I'm like pausing and I'm like But I'd say just more belief structure definitely.
What about if you saw someone in public, like disciplining their dog in a way that you would like? Obviously, I don't know. Actually, maybe it's not obvious. Like there have been times where I've seen people like give their dog a spank or like and then try to reason with them like
Mhm.
I told you to sit. It's
Yeah.
like the dog doesn't understand that now. The dog is just afraid of you.
Mm.
But I mean, I've never seen someone like,
We're kind of compromising if you're a person that's like, oh, I don't believe in like spanking my dog or something like that, and then
Yeah.
you go ahead and do it. You know, in a way you're doing it just to get what you want, I guess. In a way, I
Yeah.
don't know.
or
I don't want to sound like mean in that aspect.
well, yeah, but like you get frustrated and overwhelmed in
Yeah.
the moment. Yeah, I've definitely had
emotions
times
kinda
where I've
take
like
over.
swatted my cats away from something,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, you know what? I am so much bigger than they are. Like for
Yeah.
all I know, I just really caused them a lot of
And you
harm.
do end up having to take like that step back and realize like, what am I doing? Like,
Yeah.
this isn't me.
Yeah, and yeah, and like I always thought I was so much calmer than this too. Like, and I know I'm not cruel
Mhm.
to animals, but like there's been times where I just want to be like, your dog doesn't understand you. And sometimes I do say that, but people don't get it. And then
Mhm.
you know, you interact with people so fleetingly, like you want it to go smoothly, I
Mm.
guess.
I'd say, well, actually, one thing I just thought it was, actually, marriage would be a good one for some people. Not all people, or even relationships. Marriage is they get in these situations, of course, where they get comfortable,
Mhm.
and they just and actually, in a way, they're selling their soul, like by like being like, why am I giving this person like the best years of my life, or something like that, or giving like,
Yeah.
why am I putting up with this crap? And in a way, you're selling your soul.
Yeah, or like you just
By-
don't want to be alone, so
Yeah.
you don't look for something more fulfilling.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a tricky situation because sometimes you don't know if it might be more fulfilling for both partners if
Oh, yeah.
one of them were to leave. Like you're both just stuck. But yeah, that's a good concept. Or the idea of staying together for kids.
Mm.
I
Which
don't.
does happen a lot.
It does, but I
Or, like,
don't always think
And
that's a
I
good
think
idea.
there's actually situations where people have kids, and their kids actually know like that they're miserable
Yeah.
together, and they're always like, and the parents are usually like, well, we're gonna stay together until all the kids are out of the house, and then we'll get a divorce.
Yeah,
And the
but
kids end up knowing it at some
yeah,
point.
and
They're
then
like,
their relationships are all fucked up in the
Yeah.
future. It's likely, not necessarily 100%.
it's like, Dad, I saw Mom cheating the other day. Okay. Or
Yeah.
Mom, I saw Dad.
Yeah, but we gotta stick with her just
It's
until
like-
you're 18.
It's like, oh yeah, okay. It's like, wait, why aren't you doing anything about this? Why aren't you gonna go like yell at him for this? It's like, don't worry about it.
Yeah, and then you grow up with this like skewed idea of what normal is.
Mm.
So
And
yeah.
sometimes actually I'd say like, maybe with our friends, for instance, it's like maybe we know like something, and they're like, don't tell this person about it, and we're kind of selling out ourselves and our souls in that belief.
Yeah, and that can be a way to try and avoid hurting someone.
Mm.
Or like maybe if she doesn't find out, it'll be okay. You know.
Yeah.
But like, what if a guy? Yeah, maybe I'm being sexist here, but what if a guy cheats on his girlfriend and then he gets an STD and then
Mm.
gives it to her and like
That happens. Not to me. Not to you.
It's like,
I'm
wait
sure.
a minute.
But that does happen to people, and they're like, how the hell did I get chlamydia?
Yeah, I think if I were the one being cheated on, I would definitely want someone to tell me. Like,
Mm.
don't sell your
People
soul
always
on
say
my
that, but in the
account.
same time, when they do find out, they're like, there's like a joke about like, oh well, yeah, if you ever find out that my girlfriend's cheating on me, like, tell me. And then they also tell their friends, like, why the fuck did you tell me that? I didn't want to know that. It's like, well, you said
Yeah.
you did. I didn't know. I didn't mean it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah.
That has happened. If there are any listeners out there who've gone through this situation, would like to weigh in on that.
Well, we're not a talk show.
No, I mean, not right now. I was going to say there's an email that you can email us on. And I'm sure Nick knows what that email address
Oh,
is.
nerdybonescast@gmail.com.
There you go.
Just because I'm always looking for people to talk to.
But what would you think is the main reason? Like, would you say it's complacency or desire to not hurt people, or just like for our own comfort? Like, what would you say is the main reason that we compromise our ethics or sell our
I'd
souls?
say it's more like comfort and not wanting to rock the boat for people.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to see your friends or your family like upset. You don't want to
Yeah.
see them unhappy.
You know what? I just thought of is that, like, also if they're upset and unhappy,
Mm-hmm.
that gives us more work to do. Like, we have to help them then, like, to recover and move on.
Yeah.
So maybe we avoid it for that. Like, I would say
Yeah,
it's pretty,
maybe
pretty selfish.
Yeah. Maybe in a way we're selling our souls by not or what was the point you made again?
By not rocking the boat.
By not rocking the boat, and of course in the end it's like always like it just turns into something that's way worse.
Yes. Yeah, that's true.
Um,
Would you say that there's anything that is worth selling your soul for? Like,
Ferrari.
ew.
$1 million. Well, you see it every day. Yeah. Well, you see people every day, or you hear about like, oh, they sold their soul, or they sold out. Like, not necessarily sold their soul. Well, I'd use the term sell out and sell your soul in kind of the same way.
Yeah.
But you see people sell out every day, especially for like their ethics when it comes to like high paying jobs, for instance.
Yeah.
You see like lawyers do it. And I'm not trying to bash lawyers, but that's the first thing that comes into your head, or politicians, where they're like,
yeah.
they went into something believing a certain core values. Like they
Yeah.
want to really like help
Like
people.
they wanted to like prosecute
Yeah.
criminals and stuff,
and
but
then,
now
but then
they're
they
just
like get
defending
offered,
them.
those $100,000 jobs, or
Yeah.
$100,000 jobs or $1 million jobs, and they're like, well, I kind of wanted to go this way. I wanted to like help save the environment,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I need to make a living, so I'm gonna go work for this horrible corporation or this
Yeah.
horrible law firm,
Yeah.
and just so I can like make more money. And that actually becomes very, that goes into selfishness.
Yeah. Unless you're like, I have a sick kid. Like my kid has cancer. So
Mhm.
yes, I will turn my back on my own beliefs so that I can make this money and take
No,
care of my kid.
that's a good point. Because there are times where you kind of sell your soul, but you're doing it for the benefit of someone else.
Yeah. But then you have to weigh it. Is it like
Yeah.
say you work for, I don't know, like mining is a really controversial issue here in parts unknown. And so like, is it, so like say mining, yeah, some people they say it like rapes the earth, and it just, it makes life worse for like thousands of people.
Mm-hmm.
Is it, if we come back to that age old question, does the good of the many outweigh the good of the few?
Yeah.
Like saving your one sick kid versus saving thousands of people. But like,
I mean, I've always been the good many type people.
so then you would not take the job. You would not you'd be like, I'd save more people not going into this mining job.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's gonna happen anyway. So that's one factor that goes into things. Like, well, if it's not me, it's gonna be someone else.
I don't know. I think that's rationalization.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Because you're rationalizing like your sellout.
Yeah,
you selling
yeah.
out.
Which
I mean,
I'd probably go the same way as you. Or
well, it's like actually when
I'd be like, I'll
one
just
that
raise
popped in
my
head
kid to
just
save the
now-
environment.
One that's popped in my head right now is prostitution. And you could say like traditional prostitution, with sex, but then you could also say that with just people and jobs. It's like they're prostituting themselves
Yeah.
to make a paycheck. But
Basically.
the big example, of course, you use is just women or men selling their bodies, and in a way they're doing it just to survive.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, I have to give up a piece of myself, and this like makes me feel terrible, but at the same time, I need to survive.
Yeah.
Which actually could go into kind of a systemic question of just the way that people are living throughout the world, and how much money they're living on,
That's
which is
true.
a big issue nowadays. And you see ideas of like a universal basic income, even just in the U.S., like raising minimum wage from it's like I think I saw today it was like $8.25 right now,
I think it's 8 actually.
or right around that. And
I have a paycheck in my purse. I
yeah.
can find out.
well, no, we make more in this state,
Oh wait, yeah, and also I make.
but it's like
less
raising
'cause
it
I
from
work
like
in a restaurant.
from $7-8
I think it's 11 now.
in this state, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you still see places where it's like $8 an
Okay,
hour.
now I'm on the trolley.
And they want to raise it up to 15 because people need a living wage,
yeah.
and that goes into, of course, selling your soul. and those people will, like, if they're offered a job where they're going to make $4 or $5 more an hour,
Yeah.
like, and it might be something they hate, they might be like, yeah, but it's like, okay, yeah, I'm going to hate this, but I need to make more money to, like, support my kid, for
Yeah.
instance. So in a way, like, yeah, selling your soul is kind of like, it can be good in some aspects
Yeah.
for, like, if you're trying to benefit maybe yourself, or
if you're trying
you're-
to do something good.
yeah, if you're trying to do something good. And that's the whole, like, I want to say devil's advocate, like
Yeah.
playing devil's advocate. But actually, I can't believe hadn't thought of this before. But but I used to work a job, and you know this.
Oh yeah.
I used to work a job. I was a merchandiser for Coca-Cola. Absolutely hated that job with a passion. And
Mhm.
honestly, going to work every day was like, I'm selling my soul, like, to this
Yeah.
company, to this corporation, for a paycheck. And I always tell people, it was like, look, when I started there, I worked there for nearly 8 years. I started making $10 an hour, full benefits, retirement, 401k, vacation, everything. And when I was leaving that job, I had like 4 weeks vacation.
Wow.
I was making like around $15 an hour, full benefits,
Mhm.
retirement, 401k, all that stuff. But it was soul crushing.
Yeah.
It's actually a good way to put it. And I was just like, I can't keep doing this. Like,
Yeah.
this is making me so miserable. And I'm like, I'm drinking more.
Yeah.
And so that actually is something that goes off of problems of selling your soul out, or being, like, kind of selling yourself, prostituting yourself, is we're doing it for a paycheck. And at the end of the day, when I was getting off of work, the first thing I would do when I got off of work was go to the bar.
yeah.
And I would go to the bar for like an hour or so, get drunk, go home, eat some fast food, and just pass out,
And then do it all over.
and do it
again.
all over again.
Yeah.
And it was fucking miserable. And
Yeah.
I had to get to that point where it was like, this is crushing my soul,
Yeah.
and it wasn't worth it anymore.
Have you ever reached that level of unhappiness with a job ever since? Like, even though you make less.
No.
Nice.
I kind of told myself after that, I was like, I'm not going to work a job I hate ever again.
Yeah.
My current job, I'm like, I don't really enjoy it necessarily. There are parts, but when I'm working with certain people,
people are
I'm
great.
like, I'm working with like a certain person, I'm just like, like, this is kind of crushing me.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I need to make a paycheck, and I'm like, okay, this is stable. I know what I'm getting here.
Yeah.
I'm making not a great wage, but I can kind of make it right
Yeah.
now. I'm getting to a point where I'm like, I know I'm not able to make it. But I always start to go back to school because of it, because I'm like, this is soul crushing.
School.
And actually, there are some benefits to, or I wouldn't say there's a benefit for selling your soul, but one thing that could come out of you doing that is you can finally realize, like, hey, I'm making myself miserable.
Yeah.
I'm selling myself to a place that I don't really care about. And then finally you get to that point where you're like, I need to change shit. And, most people, honestly, it's a really hard thing to get out of.
Yeah. I wanted to comment further on the idea of selling your body.
Mm-hmm.
Because
I kind of glazed over that, didn't I?
yeah, it's all right. No, I actually mean, like, not prostitution wise, unless you're talking in the general sense, but like, so we both work in a restaurant, and I'm front of house, so I am on my feet constantly. Like, I'm working 3 doubles this week where I'll walk like 10 miles just in a day. I might not get a break. Who knows if I'm going to have anything to eat. And like, it's really hard on my body.
Oh yeah.
And like every morning, even if I haven't worked the day before, which is 1 day a week, like, my insteps will be like so tight, and like my knees hurt, and like my back hurts. Like, I actually injured my back and I had to miss a day of work, and then like I was like, shit, I need the money. And so like for another month I really wasn't quite like back to right, and I was still working and like busting my ass. And I'm like, I am going to fucking wear my body out. I'm 35. Like, I'm going to fucking wear my body out.
Yeah, you had
Who
a point
knows
a few
what
weeks
sort of-
ago where your back was just killing
God,
you.
it was so
But yeah, I
miserable.
hadn't thought about the fact that just by working these jobs, I mean, unless you're sitting at a desk job or something.
Yeah, which is also actually not great for your body.
No,
like,
it's
you have
not.
to get up and walk around. But like, in our society, we don't really have
you are
that
kind of ruining our
alternative.
bodies in a way. Yeah, because of it. I mean, it's just kind of a necessary thing in work.
But like, especially in my job, like, if I can pick up a shift and work a double, that's so much more money, and I'm probably going to do it, even though the next day I'm going to be
So yeah, in a way,
hurting
you
so
are
bad.
kind of selling your body.
I really am.
I never thought of it that way. That's crazy.
I'm a whore.
We're all whores
Well, whores.
in one way or another.
But yeah, but to me, it's worth it for right now, at least. I mean, I do have a better goal in mind, and actually inspired by Nick. I do now have like a plan for going back to school,
Mhm.
and you know how like when I'm going to take courses, it's going to be long, slow going.
Yeah.
But you know, in the end, I can either start now and finish when I do, or not start now and
Yeah.
finish even later, or never.
Yeah, that's actually one thing I was thinking about when I was going back to school was the fact I'm like, well, if I would have started this, 2 years ago, I'd be done by now. Or, but I'm like, well, if I would have waited another 6 months, it's like, oh, and I've been like, fuck, I got another 2 years. Well, if you would have signed up 6 months ago,
Yeah. Yeah.
but we always want to put off what we can do today, and that's actually something I thought about earlier when I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I need to go do this hands-on test, and I
Yeah.
was like, oh, I don't really want to do it today. I'm like, no, like. You're gonna be worrying about this for the next like 2 days if you don't go do it today. It's like
Yeah.
you have the time right now, like just go do it.
Yeah.
And went and knocked it out.
Nice.
But that goes into procrastination, which I'm a major procrastinator.
Yeah.
I'm lazy. I'm trying to get myself out of it a little bit, but that's a really hard thing to do. I think for most everybody, unless you're a super active person.
Yeah. Yeah. But you've actually really changed a lot in the time
thank
that
you.
I've known you,
Thank you.
and
I try.
yeah, you're doing a great job.
It's funny. This show's almost turned a bit of a diary of how I'm changing my life.
This week on Nick Bones.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Well, I wanted to do the first question I'd asked Megan to do was about, is it worth it to go to a 4-year college anymore? We're not going to talk about that right now,
We're
but I might do that episode next week for anybody listening, because I think it'd be a really interesting topic to debate, especially with Keith, which I'll probably be doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, God, do we have any other ways we sell our soul every day? I mean, I'm sure there's like so many we're glancing over.
Yeah. Selling our soul.
Like, because we talk about our body, our minds, our ethics, our morals, our beliefs.
What about like if you go to a church that you don't really believe in?
Oh.
Like I know
There are those people out there that still go to a church because it's like part of their process or their kind of habit.
Yeah, or like they do it for their children to have a good
Yeah.
example, but like it's miserable for them sometimes.
Mhm. I actually saw a story not too long ago. I forgot where I watched it. It might have been Vice, but it actually talked about how these people who were preachers actually ended up at one point, like after so long, they were like preaching to their congregations, and they got to a point where they're like, I don't believe in this anymore.
Yeah.
And it's a huge thing,
Yeah.
and but they had to be true to themselves.
Yeah. And it can be very liberating. Like I used to go to my dad's church when I was a teenager, and for a while after I moved out, I would still sometimes go, but like sleeping was so much more fun. Plus I didn't really agree with most of their beliefs. Like
Yeah.
there was one year where it was around Christmas, and the pastor said, so you'll see those Salvation Army bell ringers out there. And I'm thinking like, yeah. And he was like, now I want you not to give to them because they had like ordained a homosexual minister or something like that, or a female minister.
That doesn't sound right, because I thought I heard that they like donate to anti-gay causes.
Oh, it could have been female. It was just something that I was like, are you kidding me? Like, really? Like, that's terrible. And so I was like, well, I've pretty much lost any semblance of the idea that I can still believe in this. Like, and like you said earlier, we both do believe in the soul. I believe in God.
Yeah,
Like,
I believe in God too.
I believe in like spiritual things, but like
Yeah.
going to church would be selling my soul, and I would be a hypocrite.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I don't think hypocrites belong in church.
Well, no, I used to go. Like my mom used to always drag me to church, or maybe when my grandfather was around, like he would like be like, "You didn't go to church. You have to go to church with me." And I'm like, and the whole reason I just stopped all that stuff was like, I just don't get anything out of it at all.
I always liked the singing. Like music's really huge to me, so like
I
I
hated
could
that part
still,
too.
I could still feel something. But it's funny because like after I left his church, I did try a few other churches. I was like, I should have this in my life. Like I even went to like a Unitarian Universalist church once, but I was like, well,
It's all about
we're
what you
basically
get
just
out of it.
sitting
I
around
think.
having coffee. We're having equal exchange coffee,
Right.
which is great, but it wasn't very spiritual to me.
Mm.
But yeah, so I don't even really try anymore. But I do my own thing. I pray.
Just real quick, I just thought of one. It's like since we talk about how we sell our soul on a daily basis, like how do we like kind of not sell our soul or get our soul back? Like not anything like not like super long answer, but
Well, I think you do have to make those small changes, like where you realize like where you're like, man, I don't want to be selling my body. So like I made a plan to like go back to school and hopefully get like an office job, and then I'll still have like gym membership. So I don't like, there'll be a part of me that's active,
That's kind of getting you a piece of your soul back.
Yeah. Or like,
doing something that kind of nourishes you probably more than anything.
it's funny because
That's
like,
something you love to do. Like
yeah.
I was watching it was like a Google talk with Nick Offerman.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking about woodworking.
Oh.
And it's like it's just something he loves to do,
Well, like,
but it was like, he still has a very successful career. He's like, like a performer and an actor, or like I think he directs, writes, everything. He never writes a bunch of books. And it's like, but I'm sure his big thing is like, look, if I didn't enjoy these other things, like I would just do this full time.
yeah. Well, like I volunteer. I think that's a good way to get
Yeah,
your soul
actually that's a
back.
good point.
Because like, it's funny because it sounds really selfish, and I don't think I volunteer for selfish reasons. Like I'm genuinely happy when we are able to help someone or turn someone's life around. And like I remember the first time that I went out volunteering, and I was like, I don't know if I can do this. And then after one night I was like, I can't not do this. Like I volunteer with a nonprofit that helps homeless youth, and the kids are amazing. Like they're so resilient and funny and smart and weird. They're so great, and they've had such a big struggle in their lives. It's like, I think about me. I'm like, my home life wasn't the greatest, but at least like I have the skills to like live on my own. I have the skills that I can be compassionate. I know how to hold down a job. Like, and I'm like, that was given to me. That was taught to me. And some people are never taught that.
Yeah.
And it's easy for us to ignore that when we like look at a homeless person. We're like, just get a job, like just quit using drugs and get a job.
I think a big thing we're talking about is just like giving back.
Right.
Is a
Sorry, I
great
might
way.
have gone off on a tangent there.
Giving back is a good way to kind of get a part of yourself
it
back.
makes my soul feel happy to know that other people are being uplifted.
I think that's actually something with people being parents is big,
Yeah.
because they sacrifice a lot, and they kind of sell their souls to get these jobs because they need to make a living and take care of their kids. But when they have that ability to and keep in mind, neither one of us have children,
Right.
but I think when you're able to give that back, like teach your kids something,
Yeah.
that's kind of like the payoff.
I think
away.
about that.
It's like,
sometimes.
hey, I have to work this 8-hour job I absolutely hate, but at the same time I come back home and I see my kids happy when I got them like a new toy, or like show them like a movie or something I loved,
or
taught
if
them
we
how to
watched
do
Star
stuff.
Wars together for the first time.
You
That'd be
know,
awesome.
Taught them how to like draw a picture or paint or something, and that's when it's like it's all worth it. I remember something from The Simpsons when it was dealing with Maggie, and I think he quit his job.
He quit his job at the bowling alley.
Or he quit his job at the power plant.
Well, yeah, and
it
then
was
he
like,
got his dream
and all of a
job.
sudden I think Mr.
pregnant.
Burns put up "You're Here Forever," and he
It says, "Don't forget, you're here forever."
Okay, thanks. She's a big Simpsons person.
Yeah.
But at the very end, the shot was like all these pictures of Maggie on the
Yeah,
wall, and
they're like, why are there no pictures of her in the album? And he's like, oh, there are pictures. I keep them where I need them the most.
Yeah, and it like all the pictures are outlined. They're like put around to
They're
say
on the plaque and it says,
do it
for her.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that makes me tear up every time.
So that's actually a good way to actually kind of put back, like about like selling your soul.
Yeah.
It's like they're doing it for a good reason.
Yeah, it's
And
worth
like,
it.
So I never actually realized that with parents. I figure out stuff on the show
I'm gonna
like
call
so
my
often.
parents when I'm done with this podcast.
Well, we gotta do another one. So no.
that was a lie, but I will talk to my parents and thank them.
But I think that's actually a good place to stop. I
Yeah.
actually really like the way that
I
kind of
agree.
ended. So this has been Philosophical Bones. Question 12. How do we sell our soul on a daily basis?
Mhm.
And I've been Nick. That's been
Megan.
Megan.
And-
I hope you enjoyed the episode.
Yes.
And
Keep thinking.
yeah, that's what I
rushed
say.
it. Oh, don't.
You don't say it. I say it.
Oh.
That's
Only
fine.
I may dance. That's a Simpsons quote for you.
And all right. Keep thinking.